All right, Media Day segment. I'm joined with Tim Finn from Baytown Lee. Coach, let's talk about your new district. After realignment, you got we got a few new teams coming in there, and some powerful teams as well with Crosby and Barbers Hill and New Caney Porter. Talk to me about what you think your district, how it's going to flush out.
Are you trying to ruin my day? Yeah, I mean, it really is a loaded district. So, you know, we kept our district champ and collected a state semifinalist and a 3 or 4 round year in and year out team added on top of the New Caney, you know, and that's a direction I've never been in, the New Caney and Porter and Kingwood Park. So those are completely new to my experience. You know, we played Barbers Hill before. We've been in the district with Crosby before. But, you know, and so anyway, it really is a strong, loaded district. And and unfortunately, got put in a 9-team district on top of it. So, yeah, it's a heck of a challenge for us.
Yeah, you don't have time to prepare before the games really start counting, do you, with the 9-team district. Let's talk a little bit about last year, man. You guys, up and down, you ended up finishing 4-3 and then lose out on that tiebreaker. Is there something that you can take from that?
No doubt about it. We were sitting there, you know, we were one of the, I think we were 6-0, and we were one of the last 10, 9, 8, whatever it was, undefeated teams in 5A Division I. And we just, you know, we aren't a deep team. We knew that was one of our weaknesses was the depth of the team and the program. And we just had just one game. I feel like we weren't at full strength, and then didn't play very well on top of it. So, yeah, unfortunately, we lost the wrong couple of games. You know, we actually beat the district champion in the district opener, but then lost. Had a little stretch there where we didn't play well, or breaks didn't go our way, or we had a little shorthanded. And, and we play both sides of the ball, so our guys prepare on both sides. So when we lose a guy, it's a double whammy for us. So anyway, but I'm really, I think we got a lot of veterans. We were really young last year on top of it. So we got a lot of guys back with some experience, and I think that'll help us a lot going into this season. But what a challenge ahead of us.
No doubt. And one of the veterans I want to talk about is Coby Austin. You had him at wide receivers first 2 years, and you had to make a decision to throw him at quarterback, and all he did was become offensive MVP. So it seems like the right decision there. Is he going to be back at quarterback this year, or do you have somebody else to put in there, or he's just a good athlete, he can play wherever you put him?
Well, and that's the great thing. You know, we threw Jacory. He didn't play. He could be a starting DB for us for sure. And we put him in the last game of the year when we're having those injury issues and struggling at a couple spots. And he went in the fourth quarter, had 8 tackles. So he's not afraid of contact. He's an awesome athlete, really smart football player. So it would be great to be able to play him at receiver, you know, because we're losing Trudell Berry, one of our going to Vanderbilt. Great thing for him, great thing for our program, but a big hit for our offense and defense. So it'd be nice not to play him there, but I don't know. He's such a great dual threat guy there at that position. It'd be tough. I hope we have some way. We do have a couple guys that are in the mix for that. And so anyway, we'll see how it all plays out. We're going to have spring training starting in a couple weeks, so we'll see how it plays out.
I was going to say, that's what, when you have a great athlete like that, you want to have that ball in his hand as much as possible. So I can see where your dilemma's at, and that not only you're losing Barry, you're losing Robertson as well, but you do have Devontae Broussard coming back. Talk about some of the other guys who are coming back, because you said you were young last year. Who are you looking for to come up with some big plays for you this year?
Well, our big hits were probably in the O and D line as far as graduation. And that's going to be a big spot for us to fill in. But our 2 linebackers, our 3 linebacker core is returning, and 2 of them are going to be juniors. So they were sophomore starters last year. And then we got in the secondary, we got a couple guys returning. We got Broussard and Halfcoat who are returning veterans at receiver, and some pretty good. Last year is the first year since I've been here that we haven't had to use freshmen on the varsity. So just to fill in and have some depth. So we got a couple of young kids that we're planning on helping us at those skill positions. Robertson did a really good job last year, but Wanye Barnes was our backup, and he's going to be a senior, so he's a good guy to have in that position with experience. And those young kids coming up from the freshman team should help us at the skill positions.
And you mentioned spring ball coming up. Besides the O and D lines, where are your eyes going to be wandering for guys to kind of step up and maybe claim a position that they didn't have before?
Well, and that's what we're challenging them to, honestly. We've got a lot of old linemen. We're going to lose. We got a couple of them returning, but that's our big guys that we had in the O-line are leaving. So it's going to be a battle there, a competition there for the spots on the varsity and who's going to start in the O-line. So we got a number of names and kids that will be fighting for those spots. And I know last year our coaching staff did a heck of a job in the spring because we lost a huge group last year of seniors. And our spring training, I think it did wonders for us last year, and we're hoping for the same thing this year. Because you're kind of allowed to continue to have a little work in the summer on. So I think it really carried over well, what we did last spring. And we're hoping for the same thing this year.
I appreciate you joining us, Coach Finn, and good luck this season.
No, glad to be here, and good to meet you, and glad to be here.